First, the ones we already know about. Senator Whitehouse described these as a legal blank check. Am I wrong, or is the description maybe closer to something like a legal justification for a police state or a quasi-military takeover of the U.S. government?
Well, these memos provide the very definition of tyranny. I mean, these memos include everything that a petty despot would want, from the military use of domestic use of the military in searches and seizures, suspension of free press, free speech, arrests of individuals without legal process. The amazing thing is that this is the blueprint of our government, not the people we were fighting. But what is really pathetic is the memo on January 15th, where Bradbury finally just says, we don't believe most of this stuff, that this is just something that can't be sustained. And so you got 8 years of constitutional terror for civil libertarians, followed by 5 days of legal contrition. And it's really quite pathetic. I mean, it's basically an effort of Bush lawyers to say, we want to go back into the bar, despite the fact that for the last 8 years we've been saying that we can suspend every element of a free nation.
Oh, we repent, we repent. How much worse could this get? What do you suspect, what do you fear is in those memos we haven't seen yet that may be released shortly?
Well, these memos weren't written in a vacuum. They were written for a reason. They went to people like John Yoo and Viet Dinh and others to hear what the president wanted them to say. And the question then is, what did they do in response? Well, we know, among other things, that they created a torture program. The question is, how much more don't we know? And I think we're going to find out that this was the mere foundation for a greater edifice that has yet to be disclosed.
How did these memos and the prospective ones tie into what we already know about Bush administration abuses, do you think?
Well, it really, I have to tell you, I was taken aback. I've debated John Yoo. I've known him for years. And I still cannot believe that he would produce this type of work. First of all, it's really bad in terms of its legal analysis. I mean, he's arguing that powers of self-defense, where officers could use lethal force, can be a justification for warrantless surveillance. It's a type of stuff that you send back papers with law students over. And it really does show, I think, the great tragedy of a very bright individual working very, very hard to satisfy the president and to tell him what he wanted to hear.
How this dovetails into the Truth Commission and this idea that Pat Leahy is going to have a conference tomorrow to basically throw out ideas about what to do if they go ahead with one. Senator Feingold tonight endorsed the idea of a Truth Commission, but he said you have to include at least the possibility of prosecution. It can't be a broad immunization policy. If that's part of the deal, can you and I support the Truth Commission? I'm going to defer to you on this.
I have to tell you, I think that we have got to say enough, that we are no longer a nation of chumps. You have a bunch of people here, many of which are my friends, who are trying to work mightily hard to avoid what they know they are morally and legally obligated to do. Now, what this shows is it was never a question about political power. It was the lack of personal conviction. And so it's up to the rest of us to say, if President Obama means it, that no one's above the law, we need a special prosecutor and we need to investigate, not another commission.
Okay, that's 2 votes for that. Jonathan Turley of George Washington University, as always, great thanks. And I know my opinion is in good hands with you. Thank you.